Hello, my fellow Dragonborns, and welcome back to my channel. I am Arthur, Skyrim veteran that decided to share some of his original character builds here on YouTube while waiting for the long-rumored Elder Scrolls 6. For this video, I wanted to bring one of my favorite fantasy concepts to Skyrim, a priest traveling with a barbarian. As you may have noticed, all my character builds are based on Skyrim Anniversary Edition, and while I use some of the Creation Club content, I still like to keep the game as vanilla as possible. That being said, there is only one follower in Skyrim that is a priest by class, and for that reason I chose this dark elf, devoted to Lady Mara as my follower. I decided to make my character also a Dunmer, because I like the idea that the two are always assumed to be brothers. It's a common misunderstanding, and the duo doesn't bother correcting people on it, because they in fact really do consider each other as brothers, even if in reality they are not related. Erendur's story and his past is familiar to us all, so without further ado, let's get into the story of his companion, the White Barbarian. He comes from a curious bloodline of Dunmer that back in the late Merethic era saved a young snow elf from High King Harald's persecution by hiding him from the Nords, while rest of the snow elves perished in the Battle of Mosring. After years of being sheltered by the family, the snow elf ended up marrying into it. He became the family's protector, his race remaining a well-kept secret. Snow Elf lived for over 2,000 years and acquired a big fortune during his life that was sure to last at least another 2,000 years if his life was to end. It was only in the Third Era, when Oblivion Crisis happened and one of the portals opened next to their home, that the elf met his end. He ran into the portal to protect his family and managed to close it, but never returned. White Barbarian was born 200 years later, the inherited pale skin and a small frost resistance remaining the only proof of the snow elf's existence. These genetics make the White Barbarian an excellent dragon hunter, since he bears resistance to both ice and fire, which happen to be the main two elements used by dragons. In addition to being a natural dragon hunter, White Barbarian was born into a wealthy family, his father being a skilled Dunmer warrior, master of the Great Sword, and his mother being an incredible dark elf sorceress, only second to the Archmage himself. From birth, White Barbarian was set for greatness, not only planned to inherit the impressive castle that the family lived in, but both his father's combat skills and his mother's arcane arts. That was until the unthinkable happened. Castle was attacked by bandits, a group so strong and big that it easily defeated all the castle guards. White Barbarian's parents made their last stand in front of their infant baby, facing off nearly 100 bandits at once. Battle was so devastating that the castle was left a ruin. Both parents died, but before meeting their end, they managed to take down almost every bandit. Only few survivors remained, and even they weren't unharmed. Leader of the bandits was a brute of a Nord who walked into the ruins of the castle once the battle had ended. He looked around in disbelief, seeing almost all of his men perished before the Dunmer couple that fought against the impossible enemy to defend their son. Leader was so impressed by the last stand of the White Barbarian's parents that he decided to take their baby under his wing. He planned to raise the child to be the reason why his clan would rise from ashes to the top. Ever since the White Barbarian learned to walk, he was fighting for his life. He grew up on the fields of battle. His life was nothing but killing and surviving, and perhaps for that reason he had grasped the basics of magic and was wielding a greatsword even before his 15th winter. After 2 decades had passed from the night when the Dunmer couple had nearly destroyed the entire clan, the clan of bandits had risen from its ashes to become one of the most feared and respected bandit clans to exist in all of Tamriel. They had made their home in Cyrodiil, and it was there that the leader of the bandits, whom White Barbarian considered as his father figure, began to grow old. He called the White Barbarian to him on his deathbed and told him two things. First, he told him the truth about where he really came from, and secondly, he told him that he wanted him to lead the clan after he went to Sovngarde. White Barbarian felt betrayed and lost after learning the truth. Instead of accepting the leadership of the clan, he left it all behind and traveled back to Skyrim, hoping that he would learn more about his origins. When crossing the border, White Barbarian was caught in an ambush set for Stormcloaks and captured as one of the rebels. This is where you begin your story as the White Barbarian. Soon as you get out of Helgen, make sure to keep your eyes open for anything with frost resistance. This is an important part of the character, since you have to rely on potions and enchantments to bring the idea of inherited frost resistance into your gameplay. Your Dunmer blood gives you 50% fire resistance from the start, so one of your first goals should be to get your frost resistance up to the same level. Armor choice of the White Barbarian is the entire Ancient Falmer set and Adept Hood. For this reason, the Dawn Guard should be your first quest line to pursue. Before completing it, any light armor set with a hood will do. As for his weapon, I settled on the Nordic Greatsword. Brown fur on the sword's handle goes well with the Ancient Falmer set, and I like to roleplay that the markings on the blade mean something in the Dunmer language. In my playthrough, I recruited Irandur before I did anything else, but feel free to travel alone for some time if you wish. I roleplay that it is the influence of traveling with a priest that slowly turns the White Barbarian from a mere bandit into an honorable warrior that the Dragonborn is. For this reason, I recommend doing evil quest lines first, because in the early stages of your journey, they still fit the character. On Master difficulty, it's not easy to play the role of a tank, but it's not impossible. Dodging blows, dual casting restoration magic, and using Become Ethereal often will keep you in the fight for much longer and allow your follower to deal good damage to enemies while you take the hits. But sometimes enemies are just so tough that you and Irandur have no choice but to take turns getting hit while the other one recovers. In addition to being the tank, you are also the main source of damage when facing enemies. White Barbarian will either commit both of his hands to the use of Greatsword or to the use of magic, his opening choice depending on the situation. He often switches between the two fighting styles during battles to keep his foes guessing, and then it's time to get into the stats, skills, and perks of the White Barbarian. Light armor alone doesn't make you a reliable tank, especially when you aren't wearing a complete set, so always prioritize your health when leveling up. I recommend having at least half of your level ups placed on health when you reach level 40. Also, at that level, you'll want most of the following perks. In smithing, you only need to have steel smithing, elven smithing, and advanced armors in order to craft your own Nordic sword and to improve your set of Ancient Falmer armor. From the standing stones, I chose the Steed Stone because then White Barbarian is able to carry easily twice more stuff than his priest companion. In enchanting, I recommend getting all 5 in Enchanter, Fire Enchanter, and Frost Enchanter. These 2 perks do not only improve the damage of enchantments when placed on your weapons, but also the amount of elemental resistance when placed on your armor. Next, you'll want Novice and Apprentice Destruction, and both dual casting and impact. With Restoration, you again need Novice and Apprentice Restoration, but in addition to dual casting, you should also get Regeneration, both perks in recovery, and eventually avoid death. For light armor, you only need all 5 in Agile Defender, since the White Barbarian never uses a complete set of light armor, and the Steed Stone already grants you the effect of Unhindered anyway. In block, you'll want some perks in Shield Wall, Quick Reflexes, and the right side until Disarming Bash. Then finally, for the two-handed skill tree, you need all 5 in Barbarian, Champion's Stance, Devastating Blow, and Sweep. For my playthrough, I also took the entire right side from the speech perk tree, because being intimidating and able to bribe guards go well with White Barbarian's backstory. With that, we are ready to wrap up the build. My goal is to showcase interesting characters that make you want to play Skyrim again. Let me know your thoughts about the build and what kind of characters you would like to see in the future. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy stories like the White Barbarian, because I have many more characters planned. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next story.